Warning, incoming hostiles.
Hello and welcome to Ware Gaming Weekly. Hello and welcome to Ware Gaming News. My name is Nick, and that is my brother Josh there in the hat with the Batman and the Baby Yoda shirt. Say hi, Josh.
Hi, Josh.
So we are going to go through all the big news that we learned for this week. This is
There's
June
a lot of big
14th.
news this week.
There is indeed, and by golly, it's a doozy. So we've heard that the PS5 has been revealed. Destiny has brought back some cool information. I don't know why I made that face. There's another Star Wars game coming out, and there are so many summer game fest events, collectives. There's just so many games right now we can't even possibly talk about them. So instead, we're just going to do what we do best and talk about finally the PlayStation 5. Can you believe it,
We
Josh?
saw
Can you believe that we finally seen it?
I'm actually surprised we saw it. I mean, we talked when they did the initial reveal that the wording was very clear that this was all about the games. You're gonna
Yeah.
see the games you're gonna be playing on the PS5 after the PS5 launches this year. The future of gaming. They were they were very like gun shy about saying anything about hardware.
Yeah.
Probably because
And then they did it.
because they wanted to save it for the one last thing, and I
Mhm.
think they knocked it out of the park with it. Sure, we can meme the hell out of the console design. I think everybody initially was like one's just surprised that they showed the console,
Yeah.
and it's a video game console. It's nice to be interesting and unique. We've always seen
Yeah.
those futuristic, you know, mock-ups that like, well, there's no way that's the next console. Whatever, that's just some fan mock-up. Well, Sony was
Eventually,
like, you know
it
what?
has to be right.
Let's do what the
Yeah.
fans always come up with and make it look
Yeah.
like a router or a air purifier or a
Whatever. But let's break down some of the events that the things that we heard about it. So first, so if you're a Grand Theft Auto fan, guess what? Grand Theft Auto 5 is coming to PlayStation 5. It's going to be free for PS5 owners, specifically Grand Theft Auto Online. I'm not sure if that just comes with the game or if the entire thing, but the way it was phrased was Grand Theft Auto Online
okay.
is going to be free. So to me, it sounds like it's going to be like Warzone or something like that, where you can download the online portion of the
I
game, and if
see.
you want, I don't know, but it said it'll be enhanced and expanded. So I think you could theoretically play single player, but no one's playing single player on that anymore.
Well,
If
we know for sure GTA 5 is coming to the next gen.
right, and that's the most
Uh,
important part about it.
yeah,
The current PS4 owners, if you are playing GTA 5 right now, will receive $1 million in Grand Theft Auto Online currency every month until launch. So make sure you roll in that dough and use that or save your money because you're gonna have
Ye- yeah.
$4 or $5, $6 million in your bank by the time. I don't know if that can get you anything, but
Yeah.
sounds cool. Um, so this next one's super cool. So Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales has been announced for holiday 2020. There's been a little bit of I'll have to say that the reveal on this has been kind of botched since it was really cool in the showcase. But there's had to been a lot of explanation. We did our reaction, so you definitely go over there and check us out. But my first reaction was that it wasn't going to be the sequel, the actual numbered sequel to Spider-Man, and that is correct. What first happened was that the PlayStation, some person from PlayStation said that it's a expanded, like deeper version of the game, but it's DLC. So I don't know if that's exactly the word he used, but he wasn't very clear. And then Insomniac finally had to come out and be like, it's a standalone game. it's its own game, but it is more on par with Uncharted Lost Legacy, which is a more packaged up story than a huge 40-hour whatever deep game. So I've heard on my end, I have heard some people being a little disappointed now that it's like, oh, that was a really cool trailer, but it's not what we wanted. I'm still excited about it.
Yeah. Um, well, I would disagree. I think that it was a botched reveal. I
Okay.
think I think it revealed exactly what we thought. They
Hmm.
showed us Miles Morales. They said Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, and I thought it was revealed well enough that we kind of understood that it was not going to be the sequel, like you said. It was going
Well,
to
I
be
think
a
we
side story.
understood because
Hang on. But I think it was the Sony exec speaking out of turn who led to the misinformation.
right, and
I,
that's true.
um, and the fact it wasn't exactly clear that it wasn't a sequel, but it seemed clear that this was going to be the lost legacy of Spider-Man, where they were going to deep dive into this other character before the lead into uh, Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, and I think our hypothesis of what that might look like when Spider-Man 2
Mhm.
eventually comes out will be, I think for people who aren't familiar with Spider-Man, in terms of the PS4 version of Spider-Man, having seen this, may not have thought it was not a full game. Like so I think because just you and I and other more dedicated console players know about the Spider-Man and where it was left off and stuff, that's why it probably didn't shock us as
Mhm.
much as it might someone else. But that's neither here nor there. I'm still excited we're gonna get to play as him, and it looks
Yeah,
super cool. I thought the way they like in terms of the trailer was awesome. So um, more awesome. If you listen to the other show, Josh got points left and right. Horizon Forbidden West has officially been announced. The
that's right.
sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn. Um,
Praise Shuhei.
just take it away,
Oh yeah,
Josh, because actually Shuhei wasn't the one
I know.
who unveiled this. But okay,
But yeah, we are getting. Unfortunately didn't get a date. I was really hoping them to say it was launching with the PS5. They didn't say that. They
no,
didn't even give like 2020.
a window.
So it's probably not this year. But we're getting the Forbidden West. We don't really know much about it other than it's got elephants and snapping turtles. You get to swim with snap maws. Uh, it looked like there was more animals, which is you
Hmm.
know one of my uh, fun complaints. It's not really a complaint, but when you play a game for hours and hours and hours and hours, you beat it twice. You notice that there's a lot of foxes and turkeys, and that's about it.
Hmm. And boars, aren't there
Yeah,
boars?
it's foxes, turkeys, boars, and like rabbits.
Yeah,
But like
just random.
there's like less than 10 like different animal species in the whole
Yeah,
game. So hopefully we'll see like an expanded wildlife on top of expanded
the expanded robot.
dino whatever robot dinosaurs. So
Yeah, I saw someone be like, "Please let us ride
the
the
pterodactyls,
yeah."
yes, please.
Um, well,
For
they're called stormbirds, right?
no, the ones we saw in the trailer were different than stormbirds.
Oh, okay.
Stormbirds don't look like pterodactyls. They look like giant mean birds. The
Mm,
pterodactyls look like dinosaurs,
t-
like the
Gotcha.
dinosaurs. So, um, but yeah, I do want to have one of those to fly around because
Yeah,
that was my I
either
think
that or the Thunderjaw is all I care about.
yeah
So
I want to pilot the Thunderjaw. I just want to pilot a robot dinosaur that's bigger than the horse.
yeah, same. So yeah, that was definitely excited to see that. Definitely did not expect to see it during this one. They also showed the console. They also Ratchet and Clank was there. So if you are a big fan of Ratchet and Clank, they're bringing that back with Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Um, so that looks a lot of fun. But the console, like we talked at the beginning, is very bold new design. It looks like someone's wearing a collared shirt with a black, black undershirt. It's popped out
Hmm.
a little bit. The most impressive or the most shocking thing to me was that they had 2 editions of this console. So not only is there the PS5, there's the PS5 Digital Edition, which similar to the Xbox One S All Digital Edition. Is there's one with a disc drive and one without the disc drive. They both look more or less the same. I think the obviously the digital edition is a little thinner,
Yeah.
but so far we have no idea the like price difference, the hardware difference. I think I saw one tweet saying there's not going to be much of a difference at all, and I'm sure that'll be the case. But in terms of in terms of power, not necessarily price.
Right.
So my question is like, will my PlayStation 5 still sound like a jet engine if there's no hard drive in there? Well, or solid state drive. Will it still sound like a jet engine? That's all I care about. Because
Hopefully
right
not.
now I can't. I almost can't play my PS4 Pro anymore because it's just like
So
too
the
much.
consensus I've been hearing about like the PS5 design is generally positive, but on one podcast I was listening to refer to it as the PS5 with the disk drive looks like the PS Slim was in quarantine for about 2 months. it's got a- it's got a little quarantine pooch.
That's funny.
'Cause,
That's funny.
yeah,
Um, so I mean, it was really cool. Someone said, if this was Xbox design, we would probably crap all over it. And I don't know,
maybe.
maybe. But now you have your choices between a mini fridge and a Wi-Fi router. And honestly, I do like the futuristic space look of what they're trying to do
I
with
like
this
both
one.
designs. I think they
Um,
both went with something. I mean, when we first saw it, it was a striking design for the Xbox
yeah.
Series X because we don't see a cubed shaped, almost like tower uh, box for these
Hmm.
type of things, and so with the concave top, so it was they're doing something not super traditional. I mean, it is still traditional in the sense that it's a black box, but they're
Right.
both experimenting. Whereas Sony just decided to go all out and do something really different. Um,
Yeah.
and if you want to hear more about the PlayStation 5 event, we broke down pretty much everything you could think about as far as the
Yeah.
games that came out.
90 plus minutes of us just talking about it
Yeah,
all. It's
so
great.
check us out on the Ware Gaming Weekly for that.
Yeah. But what we found out, I heard about this today, Josh, or yesterday maybe, that there's a new Star Wars game on the horizon. Star Wars Squadrons was leaked and confirmed by EA, and we will find out more about it in just 2 days. Was that Monday,
Yeah,
June 15th?
yeah, I think that seems about right. Um,
That'll be tomorrow for you listeners,
Uh,
or
so
today.
I believe this was leaked a couple months ago. We saw Star Wars Maverick kind of come up. Someone had found
Mm,
in the back end this of one of the systems or one of the stores a placeholder for something called Star Wars Maverick, which trying to pull that apart, you could say Maverick. If you tie that to Top Gun, Maverick was a pilot. The most notable piloting thing regarding Star Wars is X-wing versus Tie Fighter or Rogue Squadron,
right.
things like that. And so people that led people down that path. And seeing this was leaked earlier this week for Star Wars Squadrons, I think EA just decided to go on and confirm that this is a real thing, and they're going to talk about it on June 15th. Um, I'm excited. I've always tried to play the Rogue Squadron games. Most they were typically PC type games, so we didn't really have the
Mm,
equipment to do those. So I'm excited to see what they do with that and make it a full fledged like Ace Combat
yeah.
Star Wars. And I'm in.
Honestly, it was my favorite part of the first Battlefront remake reboot that they came out with was doing the flight. I can't remember the name of the
Oh
match,
yeah,
but just going around
the
and shoot like
dogfighting. Yeah.
dogfighting. That was like every time I picked up the game, I started with that before I went into anything else. I'm like, I gotta
Could you
do.
imagine if they do a VR component?
Oh, for sure. Like,
Because
there's got to be some
they
part
did
of
a
it.
mission in the first Battlefront that was
Mhm.
VR, and it was awesome. I would love them to do like even a small campaign, like Ace Combat 7 did a small like 5 missions or 2 missions. It was not very much, but it
Sure.
showed that it could be done, and could be done well and not make you super sick. I mean, I was flying
Yeah.
jets, doing crazy stuff, and not, you know, getting
Mhm.
sick. So if we could do that in Star Wars, I'm all in.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'm definitely excited to see. So tune in June 15th to find out more about that. Especially because I think this is the first new Star Wars game that's been announced since
Rogue,
the
uh, uh,
Fallen
uh,
Order.
Fallen Order.
And that game was announced and released. So it's been a minute. And hopefully this one doesn't get canceled. So let's just hold on for that.
Yeah,
Josh, do you want to take us down? The Destiny
yeah,
2 reveal rock block.
yeah. Destiny is probably got its biggest announcements in quite some
And
time. The,
since Forsaken, probably.
Probably even before then, like probably since before Destiny 2. Like this is the changes they're making, the roadmap. I got a gnat flying in my eye. Uh, we haven't seen a roadmap like this since before Destiny launched.
Really? Okay.
I mean, we have names of things that are 2 years away, which hasn't happened. We back when Destiny launched, there was a leaked roadmap that included Comet and a few other code names that were eventual, like the Taken King and things that just came
Hmm.
years later. And that was like a roadmap for Destiny fans to watch. So here they actually just laid out these are the like milestones that we're shooting for. So first off, uh, this year, Beyond Light is the fall expansion. Coming out September 22nd. It's going to be on Europa, one of Jupiter's moons or Saturn's moon. No, no,
You keep talking, and I
it
will
is
look it up for
Jupiter.
you.
I'm pretty sure. Um, but anyway, it takes place on Europa. The trailer featured Eris Morn, the Drifter, and the Exo Stranger, who is one of the oldest characters in the lore. They're the one.
Jupiter.
They were there when we first became a Guardian. The Drifter or the Exo Stranger was watching us and coaxing us along. They're the one that showed us the Vex. We didn't know about the Vex until the Exo Stranger told us that this was a major threat, and she sent us to the Black Garden to take care of it. Uh,
Mm.
and then, but she was from a future timeline that something was going on. So this could be, one of my predictions for Destiny 2 was something that dealt with us finally getting to the point where we met the Exo Stranger in real time to
Oh,
current time.
okay.
I thought that might have been the Taken or the Red War, or yeah, the Red War when the Cabal came and destroyed the tower. But this could be what's coming up on
Right.
Europa. So that comes out on the September 22nd. We have a title called The Witch Queen. That's another expansion projected for 2021. Probably the fall expansion in 2021, and then Lightfall, which
Wow.
is out for 2022. No further information on either of those are available, but like I said, we wouldn't have that kind of stuff from the original
Hmm.
roadmap leak comment, and we would just be speculating on what that could be, and that's kind of what I think they're kind of doing here.
Yeah.
They're as far as the overall plans, there are no plans for a Destiny sequel. Destiny 2,
Okay.
Luke Smith said on an interview that for them to do a Destiny 3 would have to pull resources away from Destiny 2, and that's not what they want to do. They want to build and expand. It's already a huge game, and they want to just keep building this universe. So they're going to keep uh, building expansions for Destiny 2 and improve along the way, which is, I think, what they were originally planning on doing. And Activision being what they are, they
Like
like
to.
this. They want the sequels. They want 2 and
Mhm.
3. They want you to come out. And Destiny is, Bungie is on their own now. I think we're moving towards what they actually want to do.
Yeah.
So instead of that, they're introducing the Destiny Vault. Since
Okay.
it's such a growing game, It's getting very large, and they don't want to get to Call of Duty Modern Warfare style sizes. And
It's
so
ridiculous.
they said right now they're pushing 150 gigabytes, and they don't want to keep building. So what they're going to do is they're going to start introduce the Destiny Vault. So what they're going to do is vault old content that's not being used so much. They're going to take missions that aren't popular, strikes, and potentially raids, and put them in a vault and in locations and stuff like that, and take them out of the game. Um, that way, they could put more stuff in the game that
Mhm.
is new content as well as the popular content. So, um, what that means is we can start seeing content from old Destiny One start making its way into the current state. Basically, I think they're going to build the world of Destiny into Destiny Two, and
That'd be really cool.
they're gonna add and subtract as they see fit. Things they pull out, they can work on and modernize and update and reintroduce later on.
Mhm.
So things that may leave might not is not doesn't necessarily mean it's gone forever.
Now, will I still need to use my PS4 to play?
No, so um, Destiny is going to be a free if you own Destiny or you're playing the free Destiny First Light or whatever. Um, it is a free upgrade onto the PS5 and next gen consoles in
Gotcha.
general. Um, and they're, they w- both console versions will run at 4K 60 FPS on the next gen consoles, which is something.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's awesome. Especially since all the rhetoric right now seems to be like, "Oh, everything's targeting 30 FPS. Everything in the showcase was
it's
targeting
such a
30
travesty.
FPS."
Blah, blah,
Um,
blah. So
well, and we talked about this, but just to make the point heard, recording is like, well, I'm not that upset about it because I don't really care, but I do think it's interesting that they're not aiming for that as much, or at least it doesn't seem to be that they're
yeah,
aiming for it as much. But we'll get there, especially because it'll be able to run
right.
it.
Yeah, we'll definitely get there. I just think, uh, as far as FPS goes, I get that 60 FPS is smooth and it's pleasing to the eye, but I think it's more important that developers make that choice and it's a part of the process. It's not we're going to be 60 FPS just because we want it. If it makes sense to do it at 30 FPS, do it at 30 FPS if it's going to
Yeah.
serve the game.
And with Destiny, that makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah,
So,
Destiny being a shooter, competitive and PvE, it makes sense to bring it to 60 a solid 60 FPS. Um, and so we'll definitely be excited to see that.
I was going to ask you. Obviously, we both liked playing a lot of Destiny, and we still do. But between the two of us, if we had to say who was the bigger Destiny fan, I definitely would say it would be you.
Yeah.
So seeing all this laid out, does it make you excited? Does it make you want to get back in on it?
I want to get into it right now. Like
Yeah.
I really want to get into Destiny. I turned it on the other day just to dip my toes in. Update the PS4 version, get all the stuff. I got in there, and it immediately takes you into like early new content where you listening to Zavala talking about the darkness has come, and we have to go and find Eris, who's on IO,
IO.
and do a mission there. And there's a big Doritos darkness ship that's floating above IO, and you got to figure out what's going on. And
Now, can't you play it on Stadia now too?
you can. So I saw in one of the groups I'm in that Stadia was doing really good for Destiny. It was their favorite place to play. They had skipped out on it, and were able to play. And someone mentioned that it's really easy just to download it on your phone and
Hmm.
play it. So I was like, well, I signed up for it around a month ago, just for the free trial when I got this
Yeah.
computer all set up and going, and I hopped into Destiny on the PC on Stadia, and it was awful. It was atrocious. I'm hardwired into AT&T's giga fiber network,
Whatever.
and not the worst PC in the world, but it shouldn't matter because I'm running on Stadia. It's not about how strong my PC is. It's about how strong the cloud is, right?
Mm,
And it was terrible.
yeah.
Like, it was choppy. It was latent. It was ugly. I mean, it loaded quickly. I was able to get to the tower and all that stuff, but it was just wasn't playable.
Mm.
Um, and so I saw that comment, and so I downloaded the app on my phone. Uh, within like 2 minutes of seeing this comment, I had downloaded Stadia and turned on Destiny and was in the tower.
Oh wow, that's
Like
awesome.
I was there, and I could walk around, and then so I went to Earth and ran around. This on-screen button's not the greatest thing because you got like you can't ADS and shoot and run around and all that stuff. There's just too many buttons for touchscreen controls, but the potential was there.
Yeah,
So
I mean
I
that's really cool. Well, I think you
so
can like put your controller on with your phone, right? And
well,
that
it said I'm not exactly sure. It said connect your Stadia controller with the USB to your phone,
oh,
and I didn't try Bluetoothing to my phone yet. So
okay.
that might be something I could do, and it looked great. Um,
Oh, that's good.
then I booted my PC back up and logged into Destiny. And at first, it was there was this weird haze that reminded me of when I first turned it on. But then I went to the tower and it looks great. It was running at 60 FPS or
Oh,
more,
that's awesome.
and I was really impressed. There was clear latency that it just didn't feel exactly right. I was playing with the DualShock controller Bluetooth to my computer. Um, it wasn't perfect. I could tell the difference, but I could. It was absolutely playable. Uh, but it wasn't my favorite way to play it. Um, the
Sure.
FPS was better, but it didn't seem like it was a constant FPS. It looked like it was dipping and fluctuating too much to uh, be uh, preferable. I would like it locked at 60 FPS rather than hitting 120 FPS and then dropping to 70 FPS and then going back and forth. It didn't
Yeah.
feel consistent. Um, and then
Sure. Sure.
there was no rumble functionality. So when I was firing shots, some people like no
You
rumble,
didn't feel
but
it.
it didn't feel right, and everything felt just like
Mm.
delayed. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I mean, it's totally playable if you don't have anything and you want to try the Stadia. You can pick up Stadia, hook up a controller to it, and play Destiny, and be pretty much on par. For how long, I don't know. I didn't play for hours on end. I played for 20 minutes, just running around figuring out how it worked. But it was totally serviceable.
Awesome. So that's really cool. I'm definitely excited to see more Destiny, and maybe we'll get back into it after we play The Last of Us or all of the other games that we're supposed to play.
Yeah.
Speaking of more games, wrapping up real quick. So today, or this day, was it today? Yeah. The Guerrilla Collective is a new digital game festival that premiered today, this week, produced by Media Indie Exchange to showcase a whole variety of new games. And so I'm going to read off a few of these, but also just kind of in general, there's been this year's because of how weird it's been. There's been so many different digital showcases that you can go find and see. IGN's doing their summer of gaming. Collective is doing 3 days of digital game festival indie games, and then there's Keeley's Summer Game Fest, and then there's GameSpot's thing, whatever they're doing, Summer Games Done Quick. I don't know. So uh, every day, especially IGN's the way IGN's doing it, every day there's something new coming out. Of course,
Hmm.
they're all not big hitters like Spider-Man or whatever, but they're all really cool games. So Guerrilla Collective was today, and I thought this was interesting to note. Nothing that I particularly care about, but I know that there's a lot of fans for this. One of the first things that they talked about was they're doing a remaster of 1994's System Shock, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is the kind of the bedrock of what became the
Bioshock.
Bioshock games.
Yeah.
So they're remaking 1994's System Shock, and they've rebuilt it on Unreal Engine 4. I believe it's going to be coming to all the major consoles, and all of these that I checked, the games are still coming to your current console. So there's no worry about you won't be able to play it until then. So I'm going to read a few of these and then go and check out a few of them because who knows when there will be a game that we find later and be like, oh, I want to go check up on Cataclysm because I like to Slay the Spire and it sounds like a game that I might like too. So,
Yeah.
so we have Cataclysm, Eurogun, XO1, Almighty Kill Your Gods, Roki, Genesis Noir, Doors of Insanity, A Juggler's Tale, Lake, Urban Trial Tricky, Boyfriend Dungeon, Colt Canyon. Now, speaking of, Slay the Spire is coming to iOS devices, and I just looked and it is for $10. And Josh,
I
you say
100%. I'll pick it up, Slay Aspire, play it on iOS, or I don't know if they've said it's coming to Android. If it does, get it on Android, or play it for free on Xbox Game Pass or on the Switch. Wherever you can get it, get it. It's really fun.
awesome. Rigid Force Redux, Out Buddies DX, another big game for certain people. Baldur's Gate 3. And Baldur's Gate 3 is also getting potential early access in August 2020. They talked about how, because of coronavirus, it may be later. They're not quite sure yet. Disco Elysium, which was one of last year's most popular games. I believe it won. It didn't win the year, but it won like Developer of the Year and stuff. This like a lot. It won a lot of awards. That game is officially coming to Epic Games Store today. West of Dead. There's Dwarf Fortress, Valheim, Ultra Kill, Child of Morta, Dusk, Fights in Tight Spaces, Liberated, Gestalt Steam and Cinder, Swim Sanity, No Place for Bravery, Haven, Goner 2, and Just Die Already. So those are all the games that were released on just one day, or sorry, announced in just one day
I think there's
at the
2 more
Guerilla
days of
Collective.
that too.
Yeah, so I think it began today. I think it's 3 days in a row, either that or it's going to be one every like
Yeah, I don't know the
every
schedule.
minute. Um, so anyway, just do your due diligence and look online, see if there's a cool game. Before the PS5 event, IGN was doing their second Expo day because they're doing 3 separate days and not like 3 weekends or whatever.
Hmm.
And there was this cool looking futuristic setting, but it was a turn based party, not party game, but party based turn fighting game.
Hmm.
That looked really cool. I don't remember the name of it, but this is where all those cool weird games that are going to come out. Like
Oh yeah,
it's going to be great. So, but that's our show this
yeah.
week, I believe. Josh, do you have anything else you want to add to what's going
I
on?
don't believe so. I know there's a lot of games there, and there's going to be 60 some odd more games to come out of just the Guerrilla Collective. But if you want to keep track of us, on Twitter, Facebook, what have you, we'll probably find one of these games that are really interesting and talk about them.
Hmm.
So that's
Yeah.
all I got.
So, uh, ultimately we just want to get the news to you, and of course you can always listen to our longer show called Ware Gaming Weekly, where we take something like this, like maybe we'll talk about Destiny in fuller length, or this week we went deep dive into the PlayStation 5, and sometimes it'll be just conversation pieces about how we feel about this. One coming up will definitely be about The Last of Us in some regard. So,
Right.
please be excited for stuff like that. In the meantime, if you want to keep up with us, I am at Speak Nicklish on Twitter and on Instagram.
And you can follow me at Jaws1015. And you can follow Ware Gaming at Ware Gaming _ on Twitter, Ware Gaming Weekly on Facebook, and that kind of stuff. So, and I guess until next time, say goodbye, Nick.
Goodbye, Nick.